Children, now we have lesson 4, apostrophe S. You have to pay attention here. There is an apostrophe S written on the board, which is lesson 4, apostrophe S, as Gopi's balloon. We are going to understand this chapter in a way. It's a very small chapter, but still it is of great importance, because you need to understand that if you're trying to tell somebody or anyone that a particular thing belongs to you, so how do you tell that thing in a symbolic way? By applying an apostrophe S. Like, let us take an example. It's written here on the board. The same I have taken from your book, children, which is given on page number 14, that Gopi and Anil have balloons. Now children, you know, if you notice this word balloons, it's written, it's obviously in plural form. That means Gopi and Anil, they both have balloons. They both have got balloons. But how do you make out that which balloon belongs to whom? Like it's written here. If you see Gopi holding a red balloon, so you will be able to make out that, okay, that red balloon belongs to Gopi and that green balloon belongs to Anil, because it's written here that Gopi's balloon is red and Anil's balloon is green. But when you have to write it down and when explaining that particular red balloon belongs to whom and green balloon belongs to whom, we actually apply an apostrophe S to show that the red balloon belongs to Gopi. And similarly, it's given for Anil also, that the green balloon belongs to Anil by applying an apostrophe S. Like, see, for example, I'm holding this chalk in my hand. So I would say, this chalk belongs to Nikita ma'am. But if you have to write it down explaining about this white chalk, you would write that this is Nikita ma'am apostrophe S chalk. See, what did I mention by writing this? That whenever you apply an apostrophe S, it tries to tell you that this particular thing or item or object belongs to that person. You understand? We are going to try it out with some examples. Like it's written here, Gopi's balloon. That means this balloon, this red balloon belongs to Gopi. So you are going to apply an apostrophe S explaining that this balloon belongs to Gopi. You cannot write Gopi balloon is red. No. It will become like the balloon name is Gopi. Not like that. It has to be Gopi's balloon is red. Anil's balloon is green. Imagine if you hide apostrophe S and if you just straight away read Anil balloon is green. That means the name of balloon is Anil. What is Anil balloon? It is no name of a balloon, but when you apply an apostrophe S explaining that Anil's balloon is green, that means Gopi's was red and Anil's is green. So whenever you try to explain that this particular thing belongs to you or to somebody, always you have to take a support of an apostrophe S to explain that. Similarly, with the rule mentioned here, it's written that we use apostrophe S to say that something belongs to somebody or something. Like, imagine yourself being in the class, and if you all are my students, right? And if somebody has come first in class, in our class obviously, so you know, anybody would ask that, who is that girl, who is that boy who stood first in class? So anybody would say that, oh, that's Nikita ma'am's child or that's Nikita ma'am's student. So what is that apostrophe S? That tells me that the child belongs to Nikita ma'am's class. That girl belongs to Nikita ma'am's class. So whenever you have to explain regarding the belongingness of something, of someone, you always have to apply an apostrophe S. I have taken an exercise from your book, children, saying that fill in the blanks with the apostrophe S forms. Now see, I'll explain you. Leela and Mary are going to school. They are going to school, right? Now they both are carrying bags with them. You cannot differentiate which bag are they carrying. So you will have, if you will have to point them out saying that blue bag girl is Leela and that brown bag girl is Mary. But if you have to write it in an English sentence, in a proper grammatical sentence, you have to apply an apostrophe S. Like see, dash bag is blue. What name is given here in the bracket? Leela. So you will write Leela and then you will apply an apostrophe a little above and higher than the bottom line and then S. It becomes Leela's bag is blue. That means the bag which Leela is carrying or holding belongs to Leela. Or that is blue in color. You understand? Then the second one, if we take, dash bag is brown. And the name in the bracket given is Mary. Now, Mary is holding a bag which is brown in color. But you have to explain that the brown bag girl is Mary. So you will write it in a way. First, you will simply copy down the name Mary. Then an apostrophe a little higher than the bottom line and then S. It will become Mary's bag is brown. That's how you denote anybody, that a particular thing belongs to someone or something with this apostrophe S, which is very important, children, because in an examination you will surely get the options written at the corner, or you are going to get pictures and you are going to get the name straight away. But that does not mean you have to put up the same name and write it on the blank and that's all. No, that will make a wrong sentence. It is all about putting up apostrophe S in the right place. It is very important that you apply the apostrophe before S. You cannot apply it after S. You understand? So this was from the exercise of your book. We have another exercise of your book which is given here as exercise C on page 15 of your book, children. I have taken it. Children, you all have pictures given in this exercise in your book, but I have written the options at the corner so that we apply apostrophe S and try to find out the correct answers for this. The first one is given that the dash eyes are big. Now what animal or what bird is mentioned here? Owl. You will simply write an owl here, O-W-L, but then you will apply an apostrophe S. So it becomes the owl's eyes are big. That means eyes of owl, they are really big. That is how you try to explain about a bird or any other thing. Now the second one, the dash wings are colorful. There must be a picture given of a butterfly in your book, but I have written butterfly here. So children, you will write butterfly and an apostrophe S. You understand? It will be the butterfly's wings are colorful. Right? That means the wings, they belong to who? The wings belongs to the butterfly. Wings belong to the butterfly. That's how you denote by applying an apostrophe S. The dash neck is long. We are talking about giraffe. You just cannot write the giraffe neck is long. No. If you do not apply an apostrophe S, you know, what does that mean? That gives the other meaning to the sentence, that the name of the neck will be giraffe, which will be wrong. So you will have to write giraffe apostrophe S. Remember children, it will come after the spelling apostrophe F, that means the giraffe's neck is long. That's how you need to explain that the neck belongs to giraffe. Then we have the dash, tail is long. I have written monkey here. So you will have to write monkey and then apostrophe S. So it becomes monkey's tail is long. You understand? That means the tail belongs to the monkey. And the last one, the dash milk is good for us. So there's a picture given of a cow in your book, but here I've written cow. So you will write COW apostrophe S. That's how you denote and explain that the cow's milk is good for us. So that's how, children, we finish with lesson 4 apostrophe S with the exercises done here. I want you to understand it well, children, because this part of the exercise and the others as well hold very much of importance. And these kind of questions come in the examinations which confuse you, because you simply think that the options are given at the corner and we will just fill up the blanks with those words and we will find the answers. No. Always pay attention that it is always given that fill in the blanks with apostrophe S. Everything is given in the question itself. You will be given the names to fill up the blanks. You will be given apostrophe S. The only brain that you have to apply is to find out that where you have to apply this apostrophe S. So pay attention to this small chapter and try to understand that how we apply apostrophe S in explaining that something belongs to somebody or something. That's all. Thank you. Children, now we are up to lesson 5. I, my, you, your. I, my. The word I also means that this is mine. This is my thing. You, your. It's a complete two different set. I will have my and you will have your. How do we apply it? We are going to find out. Children, again I have taken all these examples from your books, and of course in your book there are pictures given beside, So take out to page number 16 and then you will be able to follow up with the sentences written beside. Now children, for example, let us take that my name is Abdul. So I would always say that I am Abdul. I am Abdul, or I am Nikita. When you are describing about yourself, when you are trying to tell about yourself, so you always emphasize on the word, on the letter, on the alphabet, I, about your own self, about one single person. So that's how the sentence is also trying to explain that I am Abdul. This is my cap. If I am wearing a cap, or if this boy Abdul is wearing a cap, he cannot say that I am Abdul, and the cap which he himself is wearing, he will not say that this is your cap. Okay? Unless he is wearing your cap or somebody else's cap. Alright? So, it is like I will always come with my, if it is there a part of the sentence or the question, and if my is there, that means it is trying to define I there. So, I am Abdul, this is my cap, because that cap belonged to me, or this cap belongs to Abdul. And these are my books. Anything that belongs to you, yourself, like I would say, this is my chalk. Because it's with me, it belongs to me, I have got its authority with me and it is under me. So I will always say that this chalk, this is my chalk. Similarly, it's written here, this is my cap and these are my books. Alright. Now on the contrary, we have the other part of the sentences given here, like you are Radha. You are Radha, or whatever XYZ names you can give to others. So you are Radha. That means now he cannot say that I was Abdul, means I am Abdul or I am Radha. No, not like that. If you are dealing with two people, if you are interacting, if I am Abdul, then you are Radha. It's kind of an introductory class going on that I am Abdul and you are Radha. So this, when you are pointing out you are Radha, you are talking about the second person. Although that second person is also a single person, a singular person, but for you, that person will be a second person because you are the first person, right? So for second person you use you and for first person you use I. So here as a second person, if we are introducing another friend of yours, it will be you are Radha, this is your hand, and you are, then Radha replies, you are right, I am Radha. It is, this conversation in your book given beside the picture is all about that they are trying to introduce themselves that I am Abdul, this is my cap, these are my books, and that same person is trying to tell the other person standing beside that you are Radha, this is your hand. So then of course Radha is replying back to Abdul that you are right, I am Radha. So this conversation was all about I, my, you and your. Another one given here below is, which is of your picture only, of your book. Is this a balloon? You're asking, is this a balloon? Whenever you ask, you apply a question mark there. So the person in that picture is saying, no, it is not. It is my belly. Now he is saying my. Now he cannot tell that no, this is not a balloon, this is your belly, until unless that belly, that stomach belongs to that child or the person or whosoever. He cannot say or apply the word you or your when it's not required in the question or in the statement. So here the word my, I, you, your, my, here my and I. It's defining the first person, that is yourself, and the second person who is just in front of you or to the person whom you are interacting or being in conversation with. Okay? Like for example, another example if we take children, like me being a teacher tells the class that children, open your books at page 12, right? So I am asking, I cannot say children, open my books to page 12. Because I am asking you all, I am telling all of the other students to open their books. So here I am using the word your to tell the other student. They can be one or they can be more than one apart from me, because I will explain or try to describe myself by the words I, okay, by the word I or by the letter or alphabet I. But here, when you're talking about others, when you're explaining about others, and when you're telling to others, you will be using the word your. So, children, you, your, one person or more than one person. For you, for one person you use you, and for more than person you use you, your, and these two are used to denote for one person or more than one person. Now we have an exercise of your book given on page number 17, which is that you have to apply I, my, you or your to fill up the blanks. Now see children, dash am Sheila. Now here the blanks are given I, my, you, your. Now you cannot say my am Sheila, wrong. You am Sheila, again wrong. Your am Sheila doesn't make any sense. Here it has to be I, because in the previous chapters also I have explained you children that with I always will come what am. Wherever there is am, only I will come, nothing else. So I am Sheila, this is dash dog. In the picture also she is trying to explain that I am Sheila, this is my dog, because that dog belongs to her. That one person, that single one person, she's explaining and talking about her. Second, that is not dash shirt. It is dash shirt. So, that is not my shirt. If something that does not belong to you, you say that is not my shirt. It is your shirt. Because that shirt must belong to that other person. So, he said that it is your shirt, not my shirt. Then the third one. Dash are a clever boy. You are talking, you cannot say I are a clever boy. Because if you're using I is single person, one person. And for one person you use just I. But for more than one you use what? Are. We have studied in the previous chapters also, children. For more than one you use are. So, if you're talking about your friend or the person standing in front of you, that person is always the second person. So, for that you will use you are a clever boy. And the last one, please show me dash tickets. Obviously, you are saying this is S, this is plural, and please show me, you are asking somebody, so you are asking the other person, the second person, so you will always end up writing that, please show me your tickets. I hope that you all must have understood this chapter clearly, children. Go through the exercises once again, go through all the blanks and examples given to explain the usage of I, my, you and your, and the rest of the exercise we are going to discuss in the school group. Thank you.